there, I'm Lucita Walker, a mom, educator, wife, sister, girlfriend, cousin, advocate, a believer, and a joy seeker. And I'm also the host of the Joy-Filled Educator Podcast, where we're talking real talk, stories, lessons, belly laughs, and a whole lot of inspiration and joy. So if life's been a little messy, a little full, or just a lot, then guess what? You belong here. And I can't wait to share this space with you. Listen, you play a role in this too. Please like and subscribe, write a positive comment, then share this podcast with a friend. And let the countdown to joy begin. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to the Joy-Filled Educator. This is episode 4. Welcome back to the Joy-Filled Educator, where purpose meets play and legacy is built with love. I'm your host, Lucita Walker, and I'm so excited to be with you today. Today's episode is called Rediscovering You, Hobbies, Passions, and the Joy of Play. But before we talk about hobbies, I want to be honest. I've spent years in a complicated relationship with productivity. If I was cooking, it had to be for an event or for an outing. If I was reading, it had to be for professional growth or the professional growth of others. If I was relaxing, I'd feel guilty unless laundry was running in the background. Every moment had to count for something. And when it didn't, I felt like I was wasting time. Can you relate to that? Can any of you actually relate to that? Well, I had bought into the idea that joy had to be productive. But here's the truth. Joy is valuable, even when it doesn't produce a thing. Let it be freeing. Let it be fun. Let it be just for you. And that's where rediscovering your hobbies, your passions, and the joy of just plain old playing comes in. Because you, my friend, are more than your title. To help us unpack this, I'm joined today by an amazing entrepreneur. She's the owner of Pretty Powerful. She's the co-host of Girl Talk 2.0. She's a mom, a fellow mentor, a motivator, and a mental health advocate. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome to the stage Mrs. Paige James.
Hi, Lucita.
Hi.
I love that we're talking about this because I too am guilty because I lived it consistently, trying to turn everything I enjoy into something productive. And I can tell you, it's so draining. It drains the life out of the joy that we have.
Yeah, it really does. And I am excited about our conversation today. I want to share a quote that has helped me to keep joy in perspective. And that quote is by Richard Wagner. And it says, joy is not in things, it is in us. It's actually in us.
I agree. That's so good and so powerful because it means joy doesn't have to be earned or justified. It's already in us. We just have to tap
Absolutely.
into it.
Absolutely, Paige. And for many of us, the way back to joy is through the things we love, but we may have forgotten about.
I
How about
remember
for you?
years, I remember years that I didn't where I didn't have
Did you play games?
I did. I played a lot of games.
Yeah, and so I know, like, for hobbies and things like that, I used to play a lot too, and I think that that allows us an opportunity. Looks like your screen had gotten stuck for a second, but we're moving through because, right, we're making this happen, and we're not perfect, so we're gonna move on through. Where I had a lot of hobbies that I used to participate in, and I just kinda dropped off with those. But what we know for sure is that play isn't just fun; it's actually medicine for our soul. It helps our brains and our bodies in real ways. For example, if you were to play, what we found out is that play reduces stress by releasing those feel good chemicals like endorphins. And it actually lowers those stress hormones like cortisol. And being a woman, we know what that cortisol can do around that midsection. We want that cortisol to be lowered for sure. So when you take time to
Absolutely.
play, you're actually improving not only your physical health, but your mental health as well. And I know that you are an advocate for mental health.
Absolutely. And play boosts creativity too. It helps us think more flexibly and solve problems better because play stretches our imagination and it opens up new ways for seeing things.
It absolutely does. And it doesn't have to be big or fancy either. It can be baking. Do you bake at all,
I
Paige?
do. And I love gardening as well.
Do you?
I
Yeah, it can be
do.
journaling. Of course, we have the Joy-Filled Educator Journal or any journal. It doesn't have to be that one, but journaling. It can be singing. I know sometimes when we're traveling, I remember one time specifically when we were traveling. I don't know. We maybe were 2 hours into the trip, and I was just singing the whole while. And I was asked this question, and the question was, "Do you ever get tired?" And I'm thinking of what, driving? And John said, "No, not driving, but singing and stuff." And I absolutely do not get tired, even though sometimes I don't have the right words. I absolutely don't get tired of singing. But like you just said, gardening. Gardening is a great hobby to have. Crocheting, even taking a continuing education class and trying to learn something new. I want to talk about Kelsey for a second too. Kelsey's our middle girl, and Kelsey took up calligraphy, and she just took it up, and she became very good at it. Another thing that Kelsey kind of taught herself to do was how to paint with watercolors. Oh yeah, that's great. That's one of the she painted like three small pictures and I kind of framed those. And she just had a little small paint kit and she just learned to paint. It was amazing. And what I want to say is that these hobbies, it's all about trying to create something or anything and to create it just for the sake of doing it and not necessarily because it's a goal. Can you relate?
Absolutely. I can. And what such beautiful artwork that you were able to share with us today. I
Yeah,
think that those talents really shine through in ways that are meaningful, and we don't really hone in on those. And it opens
absolutely.
up the mind, it takes away from that stress, it takes away from the cortisol that, helps us with our midsection.
Yeah.
And it just really blossoms our personalities into something that we can actually relate to others with, and we can bring joy to others with as well.
Absolutely. And oftentimes it's little or no cost to it as well, right? It can just be minimal cost. It can be no cost if you're talking about going outside and walking or talking to a friend or journaling. It's very minimal cost. So that's a great. Leads us into our next segment. So, friends, now it's time to journal. So, I'd like for you at this time to grab your joy-filled journals or any journals at all that you may have that you've been gathering information in and writing down your gratitudes. And I want to give you a writing prompt. And that prompt is if you didn't have to produce, prove, or post, what would you do just for yourself? Again, if you didn't have to produce, prove, or post, what would you do just for yourself? Think about it. We want you to write down at least three ideas. One can be something from your past, one can be a new idea, a brand new idea, and maybe another idea that may take you maybe 15 minutes or less to complete. We're going to give you a little soft music in the background, hopefully, so that you all can take time to write in your journals. Oh, we're going to give you some funky music. All right. Take a few seconds to write down some information. Paige, can you give them any other suggestions to
Yeah,
take it
something that
step?
they want to learn in the future, a
Yeah,
goal, how to expand the mind, something maybe in nature,
yeah,
something spiritual.
yeah. And if they're stuck, they can maybe think about something that maybe they loved when they were younger, perhaps.
That's an amazing, amazing idea.
Yeah, that might be a way to spark some joy for now.
And something achievable. Make sure it's something achievable, something small, something obtainable.
Very good. We'll give you maybe 10 more seconds to kind of jot some things down. And also remember, we do have a little, I don't want to say a cheat sheet for you, but we do have another handout for you to kind of guide your thinking, because although you may not get all of it written at this time, you can at least get something written. And then we'll have another QR code and another document for you to, oh, here it is, Find Your Fun, to kind of guide you on finding your fun. And we'll have that available for you as well. One thing I want to rediscover, I think, since everyone has maybe jotted down a few things at this point, is when I think about myself personally, I want to rediscover sewing. So, although when I was younger, and I'm old, much older than you are, Paige, my mom and grandma taught me how to hem, like to hem clothes, to hem pants, to hem dresses. And they also taught me how to sew on buttons, right? So I knew that. However, I learned how to do the basic sewing on a sewing machine initially in sixth grade. So, although I could do the other types of sewing, I never had a sewing machine. So, we learned that in sixth grade in our home economics class. Did you have a home ec class, Paige?
I
Or was it
did, and
long
we learned all sorts of things. So sewing was one, and nurturing and taking care of a baby, and
Okay.
learning how to wash dishes properly with disinfectants like bleach, and what to use, when to use it, and how to wash clothes and different things like that, and sorting and stuff like that. So it was really actually um, quite hands-on and quite informational as well.
Absolutely. And it's so funny because kids nowadays, they don't experience home ec. I also learned how to wash dishes properly. And the one thing that I did learn was that you're supposed to rinse those dishes in hot water, put them in the dish rack, and they'll dry faster. So you wouldn't have to spend so much time drying the dishes. And we have a little discrepancy about that all of the time in our household because I leave them in the dish rack to dry while others like to get the dish towel out and dry the dishes. So, anyway, that love for sewing stayed with me, and I've learned to make a few things. I have this cute little clutch bag that I make, and I think I've made in maybe 10 different types of fabric. And also, I learned to make this bat wing dress. And also, again, I use maybe 10 different fabrics because the fabrics will give you the impression that you've done a whole lot more than you've done. So, those are some things that I brought over, things that I did in my childhood that I really liked doing. And I think I want to rediscover those. What about you?
I enjoy watching the stars and looking at the moons, and the different colors, the different shapes, how far they are, the different planets, and different things like that. And that was something that I and love to invite into my children's lives as well. Just a little bit of nature. And we wrap that up into our spirituality as well because God created those items. So I like to teach my children about that, and we have a love for that, and I love doing that as a child also.
Very nice. When you really look at, if people doubt whether or not we were created by an intelligent being and whether or not this universe was recreated, the whole world, then if you think that it wasn't, I think you need to look up because it is so magnificently made. And we are too. It has to be a very intelligent person who has done that. So, yeah, I
I
bet that's so
definitely
great.
agree. I
Yeah,
definitely agree.
you got to get
And
out and
it
go camping.
absolutely, absolutely. Nature is one of our magnificent, creative. Everything is so different. It's everything is created in the eye of God. So I am a
Yeah.
firm believer of that.
Yep. I think when you look at all of the different types of flowers and the fact that they're all different colors, because he could have made them just all the same color, but he was so interested in us and he loved us so much that he gave us a whole variety of things to look at and to be proud of and to be amazed at its beauty. Okay, everybody, you all going to have a challenge this week. Your challenge this week is going to be for you to plan a date night with yourself. So we've shared some great examples of things that you can do, and we're going to share a few more, but start thinking about your challenge. And again, it's going to be to plan a play date with yourself. We want you to take at least 30 minutes of time over the next week or so. We won't see you for 2 weeks. So we want you to do this activity maybe twice. Okay. And we want you to participate in one of these joy activities. Let me give you a few examples, and maybe Paige can jump in and tell us a few too. Maybe go out and browse a bookstore, like browse the bookstore without rushing through it. Okay, because that can be some time to bring yourself some joy. Those Barnes and Noble bookstores, they are amazing. Oftentimes they have a Starbucks in there and you can just roam through and read all of the books. I have a confession to make. I love going over into the children's section too. It's just beautiful. They have all types of books. They have decorations. It's just really cool. So I do love going into the children's sections as well. Maybe try a new recipe and keep it off of Instagram. Because how likely is a person to do a recipe page and then post it on Instagram? What's that about?
It's so silly. I love it. I love the Barnes and Noble children's section as well. And they have beautiful artwork, something to kind of, take a gander at and look how simplistic child life, once was, for us adults. But I challenge them to take a walk on a trail. Look at all
Mhm.
of the different flowers and see how many different things that they can pick out that they haven't seen before. Or if they have seen it before, just take some time for self and self-reflect and have a moment of mindfulness on a trail.
That sounds wonderful. You can also do a craft. You could do some doodling or just color for fun. We have all those adult coloring books now and those little fine tip colored pencils to use. And it's become very, very popular. As I think about crafting, I love crafting. I love candle making. We just finished a training in Traverse City with administrators from across the state of Michigan, administrators of special education students, and we poured candles. At that last training we did together, we did candles. Even when I had my last family outing and my family came over after dinner and everything, we made candles. I love a craft. I really love a craft. And so, maybe we can have one of our shows where we kind of let you all, our participants, know what we're going to be making and have you pick up the materials and we can do a craft on stage live. What do you think, Paige? Maybe we can do a craft on here.
That would be amazing. I
Yeah.
love the idea.
Okay. Look for it in the next couple within the next couple of episodes. Oh man, you can bring a bottle of wine, a glass of wine, or a glass of your favorite beverage, and you can share that as well.
Absolutely. And a little snack, it'll go a long way.
It really would. And remember, too, when you guys are working on these activities and these hobbies, here's some rules we want you to follow. Paige, you see the rules up there? You
I
remember what rules we're
do.
talking about?
I see the rules. So we want to make sure that, oh,
I think we like to do all that multitasking. I know that that can be an issue.
no multitasking, no
Yeah.
monetizing, and overall, no guilt.
Absolutely no guilt. Listen, friends, sisters, and families, your worth is not tied to your productivity. You are more than your title, more than your to do list. Enjoy pure, unproductive joy. It's your birthright. So, in closing, I would like to thank Paige for being here and thank you all, dear listeners, for giving yourself this time.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. And make sure that you take time for mindfulness, self reflection, and yourself. We'll meet you back here again.
Absolutely. Guys, remember, joy isn't selfish. It's actually a gift from God and one of the fruitages of his spirit. We don't have to earn joy with constant work. We need to actually cultivate joy. So, Paige, just like you suggested, make sure you all do some mindfulness over the next few days. Make sure you're meditating on some things. Make sure you get out into nature and observe the beauty of this world. I think oftentimes there's so many negative things that are going on until we begin to view the world in such a negative way. And there's a lot of stuff going on. But don't forget to look at the good things too, because sometimes those negative things, if we're not careful, can outweigh the positive things that are going on if you're not being observant. So we want you to be observant. We want you to get out here and find some joy. Take a look at our handout so that it can guide you in your next joy filled activity and finding the hobbies that you want to participate in to bring yourself some more joy. So until next time, let's grow, let's heal, and let's find joy together. Paige, again, thank you so much. We'll see you all later.